Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your host on today's episode. And today I have Mike Weigand, co-owner and CEO of Cornerstone Partners Realty. He's going to share about his business, his journey to business ownership, best practices he's learned along the way, and maybe some challenges that he's faced to give you that inside look to what it's like to run and operate a business. Yeah, you must have had like it must have just hit like, wow, real estate just was a good fit. Like, did you know right away, or was it kind of like, I don't know about this
Well,
real estate thing?
yeah, I kind of knew when I first got in that I enjoyed it. And, some people in the Austin area would joke with you that, like, yeah, Austin real estate is a pretty good place to be, which normally it is. I would tell you that this year and probably the last 12 to 18 months has been a little more challenging. Uh,
Mhm.
but that, there's ups and downs and it comes with the territory. But no, I knew from the moment I got in and started to work alongside people and, started helping folks with, what turns out to be like the biggest financial decision for most folks in their life. And so if I can walk alongside somebody and give them some good info and kind of hold their hand as they make some good decisions, then if we get to the end of the transaction and everybody's happy, then that's usually pretty satisfying for me. But it's also allowed us to be a little more focused on what we're good at, which is hopefully talking to folks every day. So we definitely made a conscious decision along the way to be more quality over quantity,
Mm.
both in our team structure and in how we approach our business in terms of like our clients and the type of properties that we try to specialize in. So that word quality over that phrase quality over quantity has really been a big part of my journey and our journey for sure.
So looking at, your last few years in business, I love to share a challenge maybe you were faced with in that time, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I was thinking through some of the stuff that we would talk about today, and this particular topic is one that's interesting because I feel like we're in the middle of that right now.
Mm.
Those that don't know, the Austin real estate market and really the real estate market around the country about 4 or 5 years ago, coming out of the pandemic, um, there were houses that were selling on the first day, and for well over asking and that kind of thing. So during that period of time, even inexperienced agents could get a lot of deals done because there was so much demand and so much money flying around that it made it worth it, right? Well, the
Yeah.
last 18 months has been the biggest challenge I've had since I've been in real estate. And a lot of that has to do with the market in general and some of it the world in general, really. There's a little
Mm.
bit of uncertainty going on around. But at the same time, folks are still interested in trying to sell houses. But right now, it takes a little more effort and it takes a little more creativity and a little more grit. I think there's this perception out there that real estate agents just kind of show up and stick a sign in the ground and drive around in their black Mercedes and go on vacations, and that's how real estate agents work. But candidly, I would tell you that it is way, way more than that, and it takes a lot of work. So right now, you ask like, how are we overcoming it, or how do we overcome it?
Mm.
I think it's going back to basics a little bit, which sounds cliche, but it really is about kind of getting back to. It's like when you want to get in shape, you got to get back in the gym and start working hard, and that's what a lot of good real estate agents are doing right now.
And what are some of the ways that you're implementing those like work ethics? Are there like strategies and structures or internal works? Like, how are you doing that currently?
Yeah, the at the heart of a good real estate agent, and I learned this the hard way, trust me. It's about how many folks can you talk to, and some days it's just one person. The idea is if I can talk to more people, then build those relationships and then be a resource when the moment comes. You kind of want it to be this moment where husband and wife, John and Mary, are sitting there thinking, hey, honey, maybe it's time to sell the house. Who do we know that's a good real estate agent? Oh, remember we met Mike the other day, or we saw Mike at church, or Mike's a part of the Rotary Club, or Mike plays golf with your buddy, or whatever it is. And so, finding ways to connect with people more and finding ways to have more conversations every day is really at the heart of my. When I wake up in the morning, that's what I'm after. I'm trying to find a way to talk to more people every day.
All right. Question number one is, what is a key to success for you?
Hard work. There is no substitute for it, and complacency typically leads to some bad things, no matter what you're doing in life. And so hard work is at the core of anybody who's going to be successful.
100%. Number two is, what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Be patient. I think, a lot of times business owners have a certain mindset and a certain way to get after what they're trying to get done. And sometimes it takes a while for everybody else to get on the train.
Mhm.
That's not a bad thing. I think a lot of us who are entrepreneurs and who want to be super successful, we got here because we have a certain way of thinking about things. Sometimes it takes other folks a little bit of time to get on that train.
Thank you so much. And for our final question today, what is most inspiring to you today?
Um, the most inspiring, I think, stories for me and moments and people are the ones who overcome big challenges. I think there's a perception out there that some folks were just born with the silver spoon kind of a thing. And what I've found over the years is that more often than not, that's not the case. So if for me, the things that move me the most are when I see somebody overcoming big challenges. And we all have them, and they're all going to come to us at some point. But it's what you do in those moments that moves me the most, and I think is probably one of the most powerful stories out there in the world.
That is incredible. And that inspires me. So thank you so much, Mike, for being on the show and sharing your business story.